Whenever I ride the STC Electric Express between Regina and Saskatoon, I'm struck by how far Saskatchewan has come in just 10 years. In 2020, we were in a big mess. We were already suffering from the economic downturn that started with the bust in oil prices. When COVID-19 became a global pandemic, it shut down key sectors of our economy and forced us to rethink everything. While our politicians were busy denying the scale of our problems, our kids would not let us pretend that we could return to normal. They knew the future would be full of more emergencies, like record temperatures, droughts, floods, massive forest fires, and more pandemics. We didn't want to be caught unprepared again. We realized that if we didn't become the authors of our future, we'd become its victims. We were at a turning point. We dug in as a province and drew on our spirit of caring for one another and on many of the ideas that had helped us through hard times in the past. The increased flooding has been tough on many farms and communities, but the support people received to move to higher ground and to transition to new crops and production methods meant they could stay in their homes and build a future for their families. Public awareness about the benefits of pastured livestock to soil health has helped rebuild the market for local beef and other products. The pandemic helped us see how vulnerable our supply chains had become. So we brought in new single-desk marketing boards, which mean prices are less volatile, local packing plants are back in business, and our grocery stores and farmers' markets are connecting sustainable producers with consumers in our towns and cities. With help from the new Sask Polytechnic Practical Agriculture program, farmers from across Saskatchewan regularly meet with scientists and engineers to solve problems together, developing new implements and learning how to save money on inputs like fertilizer and pesticides. By working with nature and soil biology and intercropping different species, they are preventing pest problems. With more farms and industries connected by the new public intercity transit system, community life is thriving, and we're recreating a vibrant rural culture based on principles of sustainability, cooperation, and community benefit. In the north, climate change was making communities especially vulnerable to the devastating impacts of forest fires, pests, and disease. We stopped the free-for-all that gave large companies the right to clear-cut most of the boreal forest. Today, we value forests not only as a resource to be harvested and a source of jobs, but for their huge capacity to take carbon out of the atmosphere and support a great diversity of life. Community-level planning and provincial coordination is now focused on how forest products will benefit the local economy for the long term. By increasing public royalties on non-renewable resources and making polluters pay, we were able to invest billions of dollars into scaling up renewable energy and funding transition programs for affected workers and communities. By 2030, we were producing enough wind, solar, and geothermal energy for nearly every home and business in the province, using proven technologies. Retrofitting and setting new standards meant huge increases in efficiency and reduced consumption. It also created many new jobs in the skilled trades. The new Global Renewables Hub in Estevan has become a national leader in small and medium-sized municipal and industrial renewable energy grids. It kept its nickname of Energy City and is training the next generation for new energy careers. In 2020, there were 50,000 inactive oil and gas wells in Saskatchewan, a massive $14 billion liability for future generations. We created a public reclamation trust and hired workers from the oil patch, creating rural employment and allowing many fossil fuel workers and their families to remain in their communities, to clean up the old industries and find places in the new ones. First Nations became leaders in local renewable energy projects, and transition became an opportunity for cooperative ventures between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people and communities. As we began to overcome our unsustainable relationship to fossil fuels, we also began to overcome the open wound of colonialism and started to build a future based on mutual trust, true partnership, and reconciliation. In 2020, we realized that there were enough people living in poverty in Saskatchewan to fill the cities of Prince Albert, Moose Jaw, North Battleford, Swift Current, Yorkton, Estevan, and Weyburn combined. Food bank use was rising faster than anywhere, and we had the lowest minimum wage in the country, driving many workers into poverty. The fallout was costing us almost $4 billion a year, about 7 times more than the investment that it would take to eradicate poverty altogether. So we passed an act to end poverty in Saskatchewan to enshrine basic economic rights in law, including living wages, livable income assistance, tenant protections, and expanded affordable social and cooperative housing opportunities. Just by reversing the tax cut from 2017, we were able to offer universal preschool childcare for $15 a day to every kid in the province. We expanded the community clinic model that had served us so well in the early days of Medicare to bring comprehensive primary health care and prevention directly into communities and neighborhoods, taking pressure off our crowded hospitals and emergency rooms. 10 years ago, life as we knew it seemed on the brink of falling apart. We had to reevaluate all of our relationships, to the land and our shared resources, and to one another. What was important to us? What did we owe each other if we were truly in this together? The best and least expected part of the story? In being forced to rethink our economic models and our relationship to energy and the environment, we came together to reimagine a future that improved the health, happiness, and quality of life for all people in Saskatchewan. Don't let anyone tell you that it can't be done, because we did it. So let's get moving.